I should sleep deprive myself for 4 days and do a game jam. Alright, so this is the Game Maker's Toolkit Game Jam. It's the biggest game jam in the world, I think. Don't quote me on that. And I've been looking forward to this game jam for a while, especially since my submission last year was not very good. So this year, I wanted to prove that I could make a game that wasn't awful and get a cool YouTube video out of this. But, like every good game jam, before we could actually start, we had to wait for the theme reveal. And let me just play this for you. Yeah, I have no clue what to do with the theme countdown. So naturally, I spent the entire first day brainstorming for ideas. After going through countless ideas that were just bad, I finally came up with one that was slightly less bad. So it's a platformer, but instead of health, you have a meter that's like your oxygen, and it goes down over time. So to refill your oxygen meters, you have to get these canisters from throughout the map, and if you don't get them in time, you just die and explode. Which is a super original mechanic that no one ever has done before. Never. And you're on like an alien ice cave rescuing someone. This is a great idea. But games aren't just supposed to be moving textureless cubes in a scene, so you also have to come up with an art style. And that's when it hit me. You know 3D? It's 3D, but 2D. This is because I am really bad at 2D art, and I'm slightly less bad at 3D art, so why not just turn 3D art into 2D art? Some may call this approach lazy. I call it Factorio and Fallout 1, I guess. Has anyone actually ever played Fallout 1? Is that just me? So on day 2, I replaced the boring textureless cube with a cool player character. You know what else is cool? The wishlist button on my Steam game. Like, the link is in the description. Like, go wishlist it now. But right now, the entire gameplay is just standing around with nothing to do. So let's fix that by giving the player a crippling need to get these oxygen containers, or he'll just explode and die. And that's the entire game loop done. Yep, that's all of it. That's the entire game loop. It's not like it's 1 AM or anything. Alright, it's day 3 of the game jam, and I woke up this morning, looked at the game, and died a little inside. This is almost starting to look as bad as my last GMTK submission, and we don't talk about that submission. So then I asked myself, what's cooler than a 2.5D play area? A 2.5D HUD? So taking inspiration, I mean taking inspiration from Fallout again, I made this awesome retro-futuristic HUD, which serves the purpose of showing the player's oxygen, so now when the player dies and explodes, it's in style. Speaking of oxygen, the oxygen canisters I made are looking pretty awful, so I made this cool 3D model of them and imported the sprites. And then to add a little bit of extra game juice, I made a particle effect spawn in when you collect the oxygen. I also added this cool floating platform thing, but that doesn't matter because right now the game has a massive problem. The map just kind of doesn't exist. I considered the idea of doing random generation, but I only had a day and a half left, and I cannot make random generation in that time. So to solve that, I just put a bunch of platforms randomly throughout the map and hope it turned out good. And to fix the fact that the player is just standing in an endless gray void, I added a background with 2 layers using a parallax to add depth. And then to finish it off, I just added some particles that float around. And the game needs a super deep and complex story. So I added a radio that tells you like the tutorial and the fact that you have to go down. I know, I'm the best writer ever. Alright, day 4. So with 24 hours left in the jam, the game needs an ending. So I made this awesome final chase scene with like a giant worm creature. But this chase is pretty bland without any music. So I got my music composer, Gustavto, on YouTube to make this awesome track. Take a listen. Yeah, good music. Go subscribe to him. So I submitted the game with 22 hours left on the timer, and I waited for the results. 15 weeks later, I get the results of the Game Jam back, and they were alright. Most surprising, I got a top 3,000 on narrative. How? What narrative? By the way, the game is free on is.io. I'll leave the link in the description, and my friends are already speedrunning it. Bye!